Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have any Asian friends. If you have Asian friends, um, I don't know, sometimes when you say some words, they couldn't understand. But when you spell it out, they'll be like, oh, have you met friends like that?
Chinese class, it's hard.
Chinese is hard. Yeah, so so this is so Chinese because in our culture we have different dialects. So we learn reading first because sometimes some words are very different. Okay, and very different. Like in the word, or like for example, this word is house, and in Mandarin it's pronounced as jia. In Taiwanese it's ga. So it's very some of words is very different, but some like you can see the similarities. Like this one in Mandarin is lin, here lin, and in Taiwanese is la. So it's a little bit similar. Yeah. So when we watch TV, sometimes the story is about certain area, so they will speak different dialect. So all we can do is to read the subtitle. So when we come here, when I learn English, I also always, even till now, I need to turn on the caption. Otherwise, sometimes I couldn't catch the word for some reason. I couldn't hear it. Even when my daughter talked, like she got so mad yesterday, I forgot what I asked her. I forgot. Oh, she bought a Korean noodle online, but I just bought like a lot for her because she asked me to buy it. So I bought like several package over the weekend. And yesterday we received the package. I said, why did you buy this? And then she said, I placed the order months ago. It just arrived now. But I heard months ago. I said, when did you purchase it? She said, I just told you I purchased months ago. So sometimes for some reason I couldn't catch some of the words she said. Yeah, I don't know why. And then sometimes when she is like when we were watching, what? So sometimes when we are watching TV, somehow I just lost, like if I don't see the caption, sometimes I didn't get what they are saying. So I'll be asking her like, what did they say? They just said this. I was like, I didn't hear it. She said, how could you not hear it? Yeah. So this is one reason is because of this. Like we always read, and this is like for example, and then there are several ways to form the Chinese. And this is the very basic way, like you can see from the chart. Like here, this is the tree, right? So it becomes this. So this is tree. And then when you have two trees, this is like bushes. And then three trees, can you see these three trees? So this is forest. Yeah, so that's how we invented the stuff. And sometimes it's a mix of different things. Like let's say, let me show you different. This is the pictogram. That's a very original form how they invented the Chinese. So like here, it's like a fire, right? Like what do you call campfire? Okay. And then the bamboo looks like this. So bamboo looks a little bit like the bushes, but it's a little bit different. They didn't write it here, but bamboo is actually written like this. So it shows like the leaves and bamboo, but it does look like this, yeah. And then, this is male. So this is, so male means that, this is like farm. And then this is the farm tool. So we actually farm tool, farm with the farm tool, it become male. So they move the farm up and then the tool down. So it become male. Okay. And female is like sitting and holding a baby. And then somehow it just evolved, become this. And then the top one is water. It's like just water. And then it becomes like that. And then raining, like they have sky, and then rain, and then it just evolved to be like that. Okay, so there are several ways how it's different. And this is horses. Well, I don't know if you can tell. And this is fur. So the fur, this one looks like more like fur, and then it looks more like this. See this? And fish looks like this. Looks like a turtle. So fish. Kids. And this is the boat. Cow. I don't know how cow, cow is like this. Yeah, so we are more sensitive to the shapes than the sound. So when we, like, I don't know if you notice, like a lot of international students, especially Asians, we are better at reading and writing because we learn English better like this. But when we say something, a lot of time people have very strong accent. Some sound I still cannot pronounce. Like something like with A and E, I can say it right. Like let me think. I can say salmon, right? The fish. How do you say salmon? See, when I don't know, I say salmon, and then my daughter says salmon, and I was like, so I said salmon. She said salmon, and so with A and E, I couldn't see the difference. Yeah. And for Japanese, L and R, they don't have the R, so whatever they say, they will be L. So like when they say McDonald, in Japanese, it's Makuto Naruto. So they have to pronounce all the words. Yeah. So so for a lot of Asians, it's just difficult for us to and then another way, like here, this is all something related to wood, okay, to tree. Like this one is a fruit. So it's like, it's a little bit similar. You see this part, the top part is the farm. So the top part is the farm, and then you grow something there, and then it will have fruit. So, and then this is the root of the tree. So whatever related to tree, they will have this wood there. And whatever, a lot of time, whatever related to animals, we will have this. This is like the dog, like the simplified dog. So this is dog, and then this is cat, and then so we just have different animals. They all have that. And then when we use he or she, they all pronounce the same, but for he is this side. So this side is always the same. And then for she is like this. So this is she. You see here, this means girl, right? Female. And then for animal, it's like this. So this is animal. And then for things, the it, that's also another reason. Sometimes when I say he or she, I might say it wrong because to us it's all the same word. Like when you say it's all the same word. So that's something that my daughter criticized me a lot about. Like it's not he, it's she. I said, especially when we are fighting, when I talk too fast, I wasn't thinking, so that's what happens. Yeah, so this is, so if one day if you do business, you are doing business in Asia, you would know. Like we messed he or she a lot. I don't know if you notice other professors, do they do that too? Yeah. So that's I think that's the main reason. Yeah. So the most important language in business is English that we kind of talk about. So the language follow English that's important for business are, I personally would thought it would be Spanish, but actually it's Chinese, French, Arabic, and Spanish is the fifth. Okay. What do you guys think the reason why French comes before Spanish? Why Arabic is more important than Spanish? Chinese, I can understand because they're like the most spoken language, right? They have more people speaking Chinese. So do you guys know the reason? What?
You like a lot of like oils, like bread, like Arabic countries.
Oh,
That's the case.
okay.
Right.
They're more, they have more oil and maybe cash. What else?
I think Spanish would be more popular than like French. I don't know.
Yeah, so Spanish, there are more Spanish speaker than French, right? But why French speaking is,
Well, I have good relation. I mean, the United States has a close relation with like France. So.
what else? To you guys, do you think it's easier to understand Spanish or French? Yeah, Spanish is like you guys, I took a group of students to Costa Rica, and a lot of like most people except me, they can understand a little bit of Spanish. I only know hola and gracias at that time. So after the trip, I started to learn Spanish. Yeah, so it's like totally different, but like even my daughter, she can speak a little bit. Like when she's hungry, she would say something like I want food or something. Yeah, so I think for you guys, and then you guys know when you see the word, you know what chicken is, right? But French, what chicken?
Chicken Spanish is pollo.
Yeah, so in French,
I don't know. So I took like most people in like high school took Spanish, and less people took French.
why?
Because everyone like always thought Spanish was easier. That was just like
Okay, see, Spanish is easier, right? Maybe to you guys. I thought more people would take French because French sound romantic. I thought a lot of high school kids, like I've heard a lot of high school girls, they want to learn Spanish so they can go to Paris. But that's not, I mean,
some
people,
people did it based on like what food they like. They like French food, they would take French. If they like Spanish food, they would take
what food do you like more?
Spanish food.
Okay,
I didn't like,
Italian.
I don't know, like what I know some like French foods, but not that one. Like I don't like croissants. Like other than that,
No croissant. I
but
just
more than that.
I just bought, oh, I actually bought, I bought some like croissant. My daughter like croissant with strawberry, apple. This is like croissant with apple. But it's from Paris Bouquet. So I like
And
croissant
bread,
too.
yeah, and, like,
But I never thought of like, this is French food, yeah. So that's, I took my daughter to,
French fries.
yeah, well, it's not,
Yeah,
French fries
French
is
fries,
from
yeah.
Belgium. So, I took my daughter to Paris when she was 5. It's like our very first trip, like international trip. And because her dad is a pilot, so that's the first time he got a job with like United, so we can fly for free. And so I asked her, where do you want to go? And then I remember that year, we have very warm winter. We didn't see any snow. So she said, the winter is not cold enough. Let's go to Antarctica. She said she wants to go to Antarctica. And I said, oh, that's too expensive. So what's your second choice? So she said, Paris. I said, okay. So we went to Paris. And she was into fashion at the time, 5 years old. She drew a lot of pictures and she told me how to dress more fashionable. And then she gave me quiz like, what dress is more fashionable? So she tried to train my fashion sense. Yeah, I'm not really good at that. To me, something comfortable is more important. Yeah, so she went to France. We went to Paris, and I'm also into food. So, so I booked 3 Michelin star, 3-star restaurant, 3. I tried like the most the prettiest one, the most popular one, and then the famous one. We don't like French food. Yeah, I don't like the how do you say the word? Exquisite. Yeah, exquisite
What kind of food was it?
cuisine. It's like they're very pretty. Like it's all very like nicely made. I'll share with you the pictures next time. It's on my iPhone actually, but I can share that. So that they have so many, like all the portions are tiny, but they have so many different food. And my daughter doesn't eat seafood, and those are expensive. So I ate her portion, So I was very full, but I didn't like it. It's not like, we rather have steak, French fries. So we realized we are more into like, we also like quesadilla, tacos. So we are more into Spanish food. So you're right. But we like croissants. We like croissants too. So and I'm guessing. One reason is a lot of French. Most French don't speak English, right? Will you guys agree? Most. So when we were in Paris, there were so many pigeons. So when we went to the Louvre, we went to the palace. I forgot the name of the palace. Bazaar. Bazaar. Went to Bazaar. Went to the gate. And then wherever we went to, they always a pigeon, and she was always chasing the pigeon. And one time we were like walking near our Airbnb, there's a park. So she was chasing the pigeon, and there's an old lady, French lady. I don't think she knows a lot of English word, but she's told my daughter, no, stupid, no. The reason I share is last night we were just arguing, like she said I embarrassed her one time when we went to Antelope, like a photographer behind, like there are lines in the Antelope. When you go in there, you have to wait till people are taking pictures. So we were waiting. And then there's another group that were behind us. So we were the last. And my daughter was still standing, and I was about to take picture for her. And this photographer pushed her, saying, oh, excuse me, we need to take picture. And I got so angry. I was like, excuse us, she's still taking pictures, okay? And she's 10, you shouldn't touch her. And she got so embarrassed. And yesterday, somehow she was complaining about that. And so I said, I was fighting for you. And then she said, what about that time? The French old lady called me stupid. How come you didn't fight for me at the time? So she mentioned that last night we were kind of fighting last night. So I said, because you're not supposed to chase pigeon. I feel guilty. Didn't stop you. So that's why I didn't say anything. And she said, she told me stupid. I say, you have to understand for French, they might not really know stupid is like really, really bad word, you know? I didn't know that either because we always call ourselves stupid in Chinese. Just, oh, I'm so stupid. And then sometimes I say, oh, I'm so stupid. My daughter will be like, no, you don't say that. Or sometimes I even say I'm retarded. And she says, this, you should not use that word anymore. Yeah, and I didn't, I didn't know. So that's just, so I didn't, that's why I didn't say anything. So we were fighting about that. And yeah. So what language do you guys learn in high school? What language do you guys speak?
It's
Spanish?
I forgot them though, but German and French.
Oh,
I never took a language class.
I thought you have to take language class in high school.
When I was in my high school, I did like a half-day program with my technical institute in
Oh.
trade school.
Okay.
So I like never have to take it.
Oh, do you think you want to take some language now?
I don't think I have the patience.
You fall asleep. So, yeah, we were not required to take language in high school, but we are all required to learn English. That's Chinese and English. And in college, I actually took German. Yeah, but the only thing I remember is Scheiße.
That's the easiest word too. And then 9, but no, that's the only thing I
Yeah,
remember.
that's all we got.
That's the easiest thing.
You ever know that? Yeah, no, but I was an exchange student in Switzerland for 1 semester. So that's the part where we speak German, but I don't know. And then I know in Swiss, there are some dialect, they do this. So that's their language. Means come over. So that's some few German I know, yeah. But now I'm learning Spanish. My dream trip is I want to go to Spain to learn the flamenco dance. So, and then to stay there, and then I want to go to Italy. So Spanish is very similar to Italian. I want to go to Italy to go to the cooking school. That's just my my dream. Which one? Where do you go? I went there too. Rome. Did you go to Rome? And then the Pompeii. Did you go to Pompeii? Okay.
Did you go?
Yeah. Yeah. Went to Pompeii and then we didn't go to Venice. We didn't go to Venice. So I want to go to Venice. I want to stay in the hotel where Angelina Jolie stay in a movie. What's the movie? Tourist. Have you guys watched the movie?
I think I heard it.
Gosh, you guys are too young. Go watch the movie. It's Angelina Jolie with Johnny. Is it Depp?
You joined that.
Yeah, Johnny Depp. See, I couldn't pronounce some of the, yeah. So, and then in addition to language, we also have unspoken language, like different gesture, different, over the facial expression. And so in Japan, they actually say you have to observe, like this is a kukio yomu. So this is kuki, this is air, and then yomu is to read. So you have to read the air, surrounding you. So that means you have to kind of read between the lines. Like Japanese are very nice. They say, oh, come to my house to eat, next time. But sometimes it's just the way to be polite, So it might not be the case. I don't know how American culture is. Like I thought Americans are also friendly. Sometimes they'll say, oh, you should come to my house sometimes. When people say that, does it mean?
It's the same thing. I think.
So they just want to
Yeah,
be,
it's being like nice.
yeah.
Actually, like needy.
So don't come here. Yeah. So it's like that. And for us, for Taiwanese, we say come to our house, we mean it, and then you don't make appointments. Like sometimes people just go to your house. Oh, come here, come eat. So that's how we are. But when I come here for too long, like we had a Taiwanese friend, the couple, and they still have the traditional Taiwanese way. So sometimes they just drove by, like when they drove by my house, they say, oh, this is how, so let's go say hi. So they just stop over and say hi. And then if we happen to have dinner, we say, oh, you want to have dinner? And they will just stay and have dinner. And sometimes it's weird, because I've been here for so long, but I still say, oh, you can stay. But and after they left, we'll be like, they are weird. So this so sometimes it's like that. Okay, so we have to watch the unspoken language, and then the okay sign. This in different countries that means different. Like in France or most Europe, they thought this is 0, and to us it's okay. Okay. And then Tunisia is a threat. In Spain, that I'm not sure. I have to check with my friends there. Paraguay, Brazil, Uruguay, it's insult. In Russia, it also means 0. And then thumbs up is good. In Iran, they say it's highly offensive. I checked. In Australia, they say it's a big sign. US is good. Okay. In Italy, it's blue, and then in UK, Ireland, New Zealand, it's soft. So, or sometimes they do this. And then we talk about colors, like I told you, like red is very lucky. I remember a few years ago, for Chinese New Year, the Dansbury have the Chinese New Year special. I don't know if they still do that. Like usually every Thursday they have themed dinner. Do they still do that? No. So several years ago they did that. Like every Thursday they would have different theme. And one Thursday that week was Chinese New Year. So they did the Chinese New Year thing. Okay. And so during Chinese New Year, we would put some lucky words by the door to hope a good year. So they also try to do that, and then they put some lantern. Okay, they try to decorate it, but when we went there, we were shocked because they decorate everything in white. Okay, and in our culture, we only we put in the words in white or the white lantern. We put it up only when we have funeral. Yeah, only when someone died, and not at natural cause. Like if my grandpa died when he was 90 something, if they live long life, then we'll put in something like pink. A little bit sad, sad is white. And then
black. What is black?
no, we don't. Black is for clothes. You wear black clothes, but you wear black or white clothes, but all the decoration is in white. Or like we don't usually give flowers or stuff. We give envelope. Remember, like I told you guys, the Chinese New Year we give red envelope and then put money inside. So it's like Christmas. Your Christmas you give gift, but we give cash. So red envelope inside with cash. So in funeral, we give white envelope. So to show like it's something that's sad. But if the person that passed away is old enough, then we use pink. Even for the, how do you call the obituary? Is it the invitation to funeral? The invitation to funeral, also white. The invitation to wedding is red. And for invitation to the funeral of an old person is pink. So it depends. But see, the color is very different. Yeah. So that's something that, we have to understand. And then we don't give clock, we don't give clock as,
Set, or like a watch.
yeah, because it sound like, when you say you give clock, the words sound like, you go to funeral. The same, it sounds the same word, but it's written differently. So that's why we don't, yeah. So this guy, Geert Hofstede, he tried to study culture, okay? So how he studied culture is he, interviewed, surveyed at that time, IBM. IBM was like one of the most successful companies during my time. So he studied like 100,000 employees all over the world for IBM. It was like very top company, next to Apple. Okay, so he studied IBM and then the employee, and then he tried to, understand. So what kind of, characteristic they have based on different culture. And then he found out there are 5 things. One is power distance, like very, how the authority holds the power. Like in US, let's say teachers are some kind like authority figure, but people don't feel distant from the authority figure. They are kind of close, like you are close to your, like grandpa, your teacher, you're not really scared of them, you don't try to keep distance from them. So, and then, so that's the power distance. And then individualism versus collectivism is like, we talk about it, like how we value the personal benefit compared to a group benefit. Uncertainty avoidance, in some culture, they don't really worry about uncertainty. They want to enjoy the moment. But in other culture, they are more like, they try to avoid any uncertainty. Okay, does it make sense? They don't embrace the uncertainty. Masculinity versus femininity, a little bit similar to power discuss, but it's different by gender. Okay, so one example is like in Japan, it's very, masculine, yeah. And so in Japan, I don't know if it changed, but before, if the whole company, that they have some kind of job that only females do, so like, serving tea or coffee, like if you work for a company, sometimes when you have guests, you need to serve tea or coffee. It has to be female. And if in a whole company, the only female is the, let's say, a manager. So even though there are some other, staff, if you are the only female, no matter how high your position is, you still need to be the one that serves coffee or tea. Okay, so that's that. Long-term versus short-term orientation. Some culture, they think of longer term. Like Japan, have you guys watched any Japanese show, history show? So they would train, like they have, like in Japan, they have families. Okay, they have families from different area, and then they will spend hundreds of years to train their family leader to be the leader of Japan. So if you watch the show, like they would like take whatever, insult or whatever, and they would like keep their heads down, try to grow their family very strong. So that's them. They will, yeah. And then some other culture, they won't. They just, want to do everything now, and they wouldn't think for their next or future generation. Okay. And I don't think nowadays a lot of people have thought about it. Like even my daughter, she said, "Oh, I'm not going to have kids. I can't even take care of myself. I just worry about myself." But when we were like, okay, believe it or not, when I was dating, before I got married, I would think of, like, when I have, I have some options that different people I can date. But if eventually I pick my ex-husband, because he's tall, and I thought that gene can make my kids tall, not short. So I would think of that. I would think of something like that, like, oh, the gene is good. So that's just how I was raised. And when like I remember when my brothers or sisters bring their like girlfriends or boyfriend home, my parents are always talk about, oh, so their gene, like their family has this, so they have some good genes. So we talk about stuff like that. Yeah, I don't think you guys, I don't know if you guys thought about that, but that's just us, my family. So so long-term, short-term orientation, and so after him, there are so many people that actually try to gather information from all over the world. Like there are websites to do that. So actually, they were like, now they have 9 dimensions. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9 different dimensions. Okay, so like this one, the 6th one is indulgence versus restraint. Okay, so but to me, it's more like generation thing because now everybody is very similar. So he has been criticized, as I mentioned, because he only have the sample from IBA employees. So there are certain way, like when you work for the same company, you guys somewhat share, maybe something similar, okay, or you were trained to do the IBM way. So that's why he got criticism, and also, this is like the orthodox. Like we try to learn different culture so that we know different culture. But when we try to label the characteristic, it's becoming a stereotype, and it will actually jeopardize how we learn different culture. Does it make sense? But we also need a systematic study to actually learn a culture. So it's conflicting with each other. So that's the reason, people are not sure if we want to, how we can, pursue to learn the culture. To me, I like to just go to the country and then live there for a while and then just observe. And because people change, people always change. Like even the Taiwan, people also change, different from generation to generation. So there are other frameworks. So one is called GLOW. They have 9 dimensions. So this is like from a little bit from the half state. I think that it's from half state. So power distance, uncertainty avoidance, human orientation, institutional collectivism, in-group collectivism, assertiveness, gender, egalitarianism, future orientation, performance orientation. And so those are the dimensions. But I think we can kind of try to understand using that to also understand ourselves, because it's all very personal. It doesn't mean all the people in this culture, they are the same. If people from the same culture might be different, right? It's all very, I think it's very personal. And then we have the World Values Survey. They would like study the values and norms, how it changed. So like I mentioned, because of the technology, because of internet, a lot of culture started to kind of merge, okay? And especially now we have, I was talking to a Korean professor. So we were talking about the Korean shows on Netflix. And he's like, I'm shocked that Korean shows become so popular. I said, yeah, I watched all this show because my daughter told me to. Like the dating show. Have you guys watched that? Like they are put into island. No? Squid Game. Like they are going to have the second season. Yeah. So what else? The zombie one. Have you guys watched that?
I see those like top 5 right
Yeah. So so my daughter forced me to. I was like, I don't like to watch Korean. Oh, did I tell you about the rivalry between Korea and Taiwan? No. So we've been playing basketball with Korean, and like it's very competitive between these two countries. And for some, like we think that Korean always cheat. So a lot of Taiwanese, we refuse to use Korean product. Like one time I bought a TV, the Samsung. Okay. And my brother was so mad at me, he wouldn't talk to me for months when he know I bought a Samsung TV. But it turns out he was right. The TV actually kind of like the TV screen kind of like moved from the, like the outside there moved down from the back. So he said, I told you. So I don't buy any Korean product after that. And but my daughter, she's into K-pop. She's into all the Korean stuff. She started to use the Korean facial product. She ordered a lot of stuff. I don't know from where, but it's always Korean. I was like, wow, why did you buy so many Korean stuff? Yeah. So let's why did I talk about this? So I mean, like you guys are more exposed to a lot of international stuff because of the technology, and so does she. Yeah. So she knows much more than you. So culture actually evolved over time, like I mentioned, and when so the globalization means that sometimes you understand like it's easier to maybe do business in different culture, but still I still believe it will be beneficial if you learn like just a little bit of the local language if you are going to do business in different countries. So and make sure that you don't think how should I put it, like which way is the better way. Like I don't know if I shared with you, in Japan they drive on the left side, you can drive on the left side. So one time we went to this museum, and because I don't know if that next time you guys pay attention, I don't know if that's the case, but that's how I understand it. Because we walk on the right side. So when we enter the museum, we will just turn right. We go like this way, right? It's like this. So we just turn right, and then we saw what we like. So we were just playing there. But because so this museum is like this. The entrance. So actually their design was like this. The design, people walk like that. So we walk like this, and we saw this cat bus that's really famous in Ghibli's movie. Did you guys watch Japanese anime? No? Okay, so that's very famous there. So we saw that, I saw that, and we're like, oh, so we were playing inside, and we're like, how come there's nobody here? My daughter and I, we were like almost rolling around, in it's a cat type of bus. So it's like a bus, and it's very fluffy. So we were like playing. And then finally, like I was taking picture for her here. So I stand here, take picture. And I told her to take picture for me. So I was standing here, looking out, and I saw a group of people lined up here. So I was like, oops, there's a line there, and we didn't see the line because we come here and we just went in there. So we're like, oh my goodness, so we left, so we realized we went to the wrong way, so we went this way. And then finally, when we finally are here, there's a sign saying that if you want to take picture with the cat bus, light up here. So that's where those lines were, and we didn't even know. But I mean, at least they didn't yell at us. They were just waiting. They were so patient, like nobody actually approached us to tell us, you know, you need to light up. We were just like playing inside and rolling around because it's very fluffy inside. Yeah. So what I try to say is, don't judge the difference. It's their way, okay? So we when we realized we were wrong, we just go to the other way. You don't have to say, oh, you know, this is stupid to go this way. You should go this way. No, it's not. Or when you if we go to China, you should use chopsticks. That's, I think if you ever do business in China, everybody will want to see whether or not you can use chopsticks, and they will definitely ask you to pick up a peanut or pick up an egg. So that's, I don't know why, that's what they like to do. So my dad likes to do that too. Like when we have foreign how do you call that, visitors from different companies, he would always like ask them to use chopsticks. Yeah, and if they can, they're like, oh, this guy can use chopsticks. So they would feel like, you know, excited. And then when they realize this guy can use chopsticks, he will give you different things, like difficult things for you to try. But it's actually good. It actually helps to build a relationship. Yeah. So don't judge. Don't, like, you know. Yeah. And for the mutual implication for us, we have the cross-cultural literacy. You know, there are a lot of research nowadays. You can just go online, go to any like travel site, you know, that will tell you. So it will help you to do business in those countries. And not just the culture, but, you know, like we talk about regulation, we talk about political system last time. So, you know, when you do business, that's something you can try to understand, and it will help you to do business there. So, any questions? Okay, I think let me see if I think that's it for today. So let me share with you what happened with the, what time is it? Okay, just really quick, the Sex and the City thing. Have you heard of Peloton? What exactly is Peloton? Who can?
Good bike.
Huh?
Good bike, you exercise on.
Yeah, a bike you exercise on with that
Yeah.
iPad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so Peloton signed contract with HBO. So HBO was going to use Peloton stuff in the Sex and the City in the second. It's not called season, but the sequel. Okay. But for some reason, Peloton didn't follow up with HBO, like how they're going to use it. They just signed contract. So the first episode, when the first episode played, Mr. Big, the main guy, the writer Carrie, they got married in the previous season, and so Mr. Big was exercising on Peloton, and after he done, he went to shower, he had heart attack, and he died. So sorry, so he died the first episode, and the reason they say the reason is because he was in some kind of sexual harassment scandal. That's why the show tried to kill him. Yeah, but Peloton didn't know until he died, and then the next day Peloton becomes so famous. Like people say, Peloton killed Mr. Big, and so what Peloton did was, I can share with you. So Peloton actually shoot a really like urgent commercial with this guy, I forgot his name, Chris something, the guy playing Mr. Big, like saying that, oh, I didn't die. Peloton actually helped me to maintain my health, stuff like that. But it make it, do you guys think it will help or it make it worse? It just, people think it make it worse and it's kind of funny, like they immediately hire this guy to say, oh, I didn't die. This actually make me healthy, blah, blah, blah. And then 1 year, actually 1 year ago, they also have a commercial. I forgot the actress name. She's also famous. So the commercial was like, oh, my husband bought this Peloton for me as Christmas gift. So she started to exercise like from the previous Christmas till the next year. And then I think in the end, she's like, I lost maybe 3 pounds or 6 pounds. I look better or something like that. So people were so mad, like, so the guy bought a bike for this woman and then she worked out days and nights, like she woke up at 5 a.m. workout just to lose few pounds to make her husband happy, so people got so mad. Anyway, so they were in so many PR scandals, like PR, accident. And then also their stock price went up a lot during the pandemic because people were bored and and they want to do exercise. And then Peloton actually they have this iPad thing and they have the instructor that encourage you to keep working out, to keep riding the bike. That's how big Mr. Big got. She had this girl, forgot the name, like I forgot in a show she has a hot trainer say, you can do it, you can do it. So he was like he was riding the bike really hard for 60 minutes and finally she said, good job, you're done. And he's like, okay, so he went to take a shower and then he had a heart attack. So yeah, so during the pandemic, their sales went up a lot, and the bike is not cheap. It's like $2,000. It's very expensive, but their stock price went up. But after that, after the big Sex and the City, their stock price dropped from 150 to 30, and then to 20 something. So last week, their stock price went down to like 22. Okay. And I was like, and then I heard someone were like, oh, Peloton actually they have good concept. And if Apple buy Peloton, it will make it, it would be a good fit. Like if they can the Apple, they have the iHealth, right? They can combine with iHealth and then it will work really nicely. So I was like, it's good that, we don't know if Apple will buy Peloton, but I was like, okay, since the price is already very low. So I bought some stock for like $23 to $25. I bought first at 25 and then they dropped to 22. So I bought like some more at 23. So my price is like 24. And then yesterday, and then there were rumors the night before last night saying that Nike and Amazon want to buy it. And then Apple said, oh, maybe if they consider, maybe we'll consider. So yesterday, their stock went up to 20 to 25%. And then today, before I came here, it went up another almost 20%. So I sold my shares and I was happy. Like I made 40%. So that's why I was like, oh, this is interesting. Yeah. So any questions? So if you guys haven't watched the show, you can go watch the show. And what time are we supposed to? 1 or 1:15? Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to let you guys go early today. What day is today? Is Tuesday. Okay. Yeah. So Thursday, I'll see you guys here. Okay? Bye.